Week 13 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for this week. The first forward, Klay Thompson of the Dallas Mavericks. Definitely another down year for Thompson, and unfortunately, maybe his better years are behind him. Coming off Achilles injuries over the last few years, an ACL. Last season, he played a full year. Luckily, it was Thompson, but his numbers were better over there in Golden State, where obviously this year, especially when Doncic was healthy, he was the third or fourth option behind Doncic and Kyrie Irving on this offense. So on the season for Klay, 13.6 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.9 threes, 41% from the field. His field goal every year has been dropping off, and over the last couple weeks, pretty much non-existent numbers: 10.2 points a game, 3.3 boards, 2.2 assists, 2.2 threes, and 38% from the field. So Klay Thompson, he's in a shooting slump, no doubt about it. He's still playing a good amount of minutes, 25, 35-minute range is Klay Thompson. And we know he's banged up as well a little bit coming into this week with the ankle injury. So maybe that's got something to do with it. But right now, you could buy him pretty low is Klay Thompson. And his value is bargain bin right now. January 15th at the Pelicans, 12 points aboard, 2 assists, 2 threes, 41% from the field. January 17th versus the Thunder, 6 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block, 2 threes, 28% from the field. Then January 20th at the Hornets, 7 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, a 3, 40% from the field. So like I said, he's not bringing much to the table, unfortunately, is Klay Thompson. But I think he could get things going. We saw he was on a good run in the beginning of the month here was Klay Thompson, and in the middle of December as well. So the last couple weeks, numbers have definitely dropped off. Not 100% with the ankle injury, and right now he's an easy buy low candidate. I'm not saying he's going to be the Klay Thompson of old, putting up 25 points per game, but definitely it's going to boost up, and I think the three-point shooting will boost back up, and the field goal as well. Next forward, Bobby Portis of the Milwaukee Bucks. Portis on the year, 13.3 points a game, 7.9 boards, 2 assists, 1.3 threes, and 46% from the field. So one of the better 6 men in all the NBA is Bobby Portis, but his numbers the last couple weeks have definitely dropped off as well. 9.6 points a game, 7.6 boards, an assist, and 40% from the field. So the field goals dropped, scoring's dropped. The only thing that's pretty much remained for Portis the last 2 weeks here has been his rebounding, which he's always been a good rebounder going back to his Washington Wizard days. January 15th versus Orlando, 14 points, 8 boards, a block, 2 threes, 66% from the field. January 17th versus Toronto, 15 points, 6 boards, a 3, 45% from the field. And January 19th versus the Sixers, 6 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, a block, 20% from the field. So I know the last 3 games, they've been big victories for this Milwaukee Buck team, where Portis and these guys, they didn't have to play much for the most part, where they've won by 29 points, 18 points, and 14 points in the last 3 games here is Milwaukee. So Portis, his minutes in that time, 20, 23 minutes, he's topped out. So obviously the minutes are taking a little bit of a hit of late in those blowout victories, where he's more of 25, 30 minutes per game is Bobby Portis, but he's still a solid player. And like I said, not many people are going to whiff at the idea of selling Portis off in a mediocre deal. So right now, well, his numbers have been mid over the last couple weeks here. He's a buy low candidate this week, and the third and final buy low forward is Kyle Kuzma of the Washington Wizards. So Kyle Kuzma, there's definitely a possibility he gets dealt at the NBA trade deadline in the next couple weeks, and he's definitely had a down year. 8 points per game, his numbers have gone down on the year. 14.3 points a game, 5.4 boards, 2.6 assists, 1.2 threes, and 42% from the field. In the last couple weeks, they dropped off even more besides the assists. 12.6 points a game, 5.5 boards, 3.8 assists, 1.3 threes, and 35% from the field. So Kyle Kuzma, at times, I feel like he's just going through the motions. I know this was a team, one of the worst, and arguably the worst team in all the NBA this season is Washington, where they're pretty much getting blown out almost every game is Washington. And right now they're on a tailspin, losing 11 games in a row. So it's tough for some of these players to go out there and keep losing. We're obviously they're not into it. So for Kuzma's case, his best case is most likely to get traded from Washington, where there's no motivation over there. They're losing a bunch of games. They're going to be another lottery team once again this season as well. And Kuzma's just not into it. So let's say he gets traded to a contender or something, or a team on the brink, then I think the numbers will bump up, because he's just going through the motions over there in Washington, and teams are zeroing in on him. But I still believe even if he does stay in Washington, he still could provide some decent numbers. January 18th at the Warriors, 22 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 3 threes, 58% from the field. January 19th at the Kings, 13 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, a steal, a 3, 20% from the field. And January 21st at the Lakers, 12 points, 9 boards, 5 assists, a 3, 38% from the field. So like I said, Kuzma, numbers are down, scoring the basketball, but he still could rebound, still could assist, but field goal and 3-point shooting he's not really bringing. But like I said, if he is traded at the NBA trade deadline, I think it's a big boost and it rejuvenates him as well. So that's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for Week 13 of the fantasy basketball season.